Good morning, everyone. I apologize for my voice. Welcome to the Futures in 5 pre-market edition. We are taking a look at a very big range expansion that gave us a move really up into significant resistance, and we've stalled out here a bit. But what is the storyboard? Well, interestingly enough, the storyboard is still this very wide range of congestion. And what we've done is break over that edge in the first signal of a breakout fashion. And now what we have to do in order to have something rhythmic and mechanical is for it to come in and test a support zone. Now those support zones can be fairly wide. They can be as high up as 78, because we talked about 78 so much, or it could be really as deep as 47. Chances are at this juncture, not really going to get back into that area. That's my thought anyway. I believe a combination of folks chasing upward projection with the dovish motion and chatter from Powell just sent the dollar down, sent gold up, the oil charts went up, everything just expanded, and people thinking that he was going to hold his own, and folks who really have a cognitive bias to bearish slant, which, I am one of those. I just don't position there unless I can absolutely see it. They have to get out of their trades. And so I think it's a combination of squeeze and a little bit of eager participation. Proof's going to be in the pudding. Can we stay above this 2678? If we can, our chart action is going to be bullish today, and it's going to run up into clear resistance we can see on the day. If not, it's going to stair step through this lower volume. I do not have the volume profile up there. I'll put it back next week. Want to just look at the charts cleanly from a price perspective so you can see what's going on. We certainly look like we're in breakout formation, but that's a flat moving average, and that tells us that if we're to hold a breakout, we should come in and hold a higher low. I think that's what we're testing right now. Taking a look at the NQ, it is doing the same thing. Let me, never mind. We'll just take a look at this and we'll see that here's resistance up in these edges here, old support, new resistance. We haven't gotten to those edges, but we are in a breakout fashion event. The breakout's been running since this motion several days back. What are we doing? Really, in the big picture, we're caught in this huge area of congestion that really is 500 points wide. That's a lot of points, right? So essentially, that's where we're at. Taking a look at that, what do we want to do? Our pullback action needs to hold frontline support. It could be as deep as 67.94. It could be as shallow as 68.28. That's what we'll have to watch for. If you want to trade with precision, that's what you wait for. If you say, hey, I just want to follow the trend, you can take that trend. It is in a breakout formation, but your risk event on an intraday perspective is going to be fairly wide if you want to hang on and follow the trending motion. I don't really see that that's a particularly good intraday strategy. Same thing happening here in the YM. Taking a look at this formation, it's still clearly in the breakout action event, 25,060 to 25,129 up at resistance. So we're going to be looking for potential motion into this next leg. Ultimately, again, very big congestion area. So either we break out here and we hold and we're off to the races and life is all sunshiny and roses, or we run into significant trouble and really sort of develop a little bit of a range here, like we did in times past coming into this area. My thought is that big range expansions are very likely to bring us a little bit of a reversal pattern, and the reason for that, in my mind, is taking a look at this weekly contract. There's not a lot of participation here, but you can still see lower highs and lower lows. Where we are sitting right now, very interestingly, is running along this trend line event. Could push us right up into there. When trend lines combine with horizontal lines, then I consider them generally effective. If they don't, I don't consider them effective. That's just as simple as that gets. So let's take a look at oil next. Oil also in a breakout fashion. Remember, we've been talking about these edges are going to hold until they don't. And guess what they do? They break out, they head higher, and then they come back to test their breakout. We can see it clear as day from yesterday's formation. Holding up, what are we looking at? Well, you know, interestingly, if I peg it to these guys over here on the left, that's resistance. Could we move higher? Absolutely. Where are those next lines in the sand? 55.67, 56.14. We've already retested, moved higher into the next level of resistance, pulled back and held the support zone. So we've got bullish pressure, right? We've got buyers in the mix. How deep the fade is really has to do with how flat this moving average is. It could really come back into our initial breakdown area, but that's really hard to say. I would say, again, intraday formations, better to have a look. I actually had to go to a 2-day chart to get our chart in gold here to settle down in terms of signals. And really, that has everything to do with how much pullback, noise, and then bounce out this chart is having. Right now, you can see clearly it is on its way into the next area of resistance. Where should this chart hold support on the pullback? My thought, 1322. Could it go to 1337? You betcha. Could it go to 1352? Absolutely. This is accelerating dramatically, but here's the thing. Whenever we move up really sharply, like this, we run out of steam. And so now what we have to look for is a press higher with technical divergence. So this is the first region of technical divergence right here in this formation. And what we have to see now is from this support test right here, right? That's what this, this resistance test, it says, hey, that's a good place to take profit. If we come back into old resistance that behaves as new support, we can engage again. That happened 6 days ago. And now we're still moving upside into the next area. All right, that's what we have to watch. Today and tomorrow are going to be very, very interesting in general. Good luck trading.